Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy resurrection. He has risen. That is the most important thing. Okay. Yeah, so happy Sunday. Let me, disclaimer. On the Make a Cleanse Move podcast, as on all of our other podcasts, we talk about a lot of stuff. Sometimes it can be a little controversy. We ask that if you feel some type of way about something that is said here, before you jump down my neck, evaluate why you feel that way. Think about it. And then if you thought about it and you still feel some type of way, hit me up and we could talk about it. That's how we do. We like to talk about things here with MACM. But with that being said, welcome to the Make a Cleanse podcast with the homie G. I come to y'all Sundays, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's 8 a.m. where I am. So wake up, get up. The day has started. The day has started. Now, y'all, last week we had our MACM Virtual Workshop. And for the Combating the Culture Days, we talked a lot about, relationships and different types of relationships. One of those relationships specifically was your friends and the importance and significance that, your friends bring to your process of healing and to getting to success and all of that. So today, y'all, with me, I brought on two of my closest friends, some of my dearest friends. I love these beautiful women. Armani, we've been friends since we was freshmen in high school. I really don't remember how me and Armani met. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But we've been friends since we was freshmen. And me and Armani have always had each other's backs. That's my sis for life. I love her. Okay. And then Nakia, me and Nakia met, I think it was like sophomores. And I think it was on the bus. We took the same route going to school, but we went to different schools. She went to TJ, I went to South. And for me and Nakia, we just hit it off automatically and been rocking it ever since. So I'm gonna bring my beautiful ladies on, let them introduce themselves. And y'all, my friend Nakia, she's had a baby. She's a mother.
You're ridiculous.
She had a baby. Yes, I'm gonna let my friends introduce themselves. I don't know who want to go first, but y'all know, do that.
First and foremost, I done put my whole name on here. I'm about to change it. Secondly,
Look, I noticed that. Of course. Only
Give me money.
secondly, yes, I'm the second G. I have no idea how we met. I just know we met and hit it off.
I'm not alone.
And we've been cool ever since. Yes, as she said, my name is Armani. Let me see. What y'all want to know? I graduated from college. May 8th. I'm so excited. I can't wait to be done, y'all. But
what's your degree in?
Nursing.
Black nurse, y'all, as we need them.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Y'all get to know more. Y'all will get to know me more the more we talk on the podcast.
Well, after them, I'm Nakia, Kia for short. As she said, I'm a new mom. I graduated right here in Colorado from TJ, and I am re-enrolling into school for my psychology major. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah.
Boom. Okay, so y'all know here on the Make a Cleanse podcast, we talk about healing. That's like my focus, just talking about the different ways that we as individuals and we as a society need to heal. And one of those ways is your friend group. Who you choose to have around you is important. And I've realized, the older you get, the smaller our circles is becoming. You feel me? Like becoming small. But that's okay. Let me meet you, Kia, because I know that's your background. Maybe not. Yeah. Okay. But okay. We are all friends here. We have our sister circle. We rock, but we each have our own individual friend circles as well. And that's what I want to talk about. The individual friend circles outside of your friend circle, because you have those people who you're gonna in times of uh trial and tribulation, when something great happens and you just want to be one of those first people you want to tell. You have your mains for that, right? And then you have the secondary people who are there just because they're around right now. No, disclaimer to my friends, we are live, so if there's anything y'all don't want to talk about, just let me know, because y'all know I just be talking. But let me see what Kia said. Oh, I got
you. Well, I'll start. I feel like all of us have friends for different things. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like, there are just certain friendships that have longer and closer relationships than other ones do. And so I think one thing I'm going through right now is dealing with a friendship that, like, you can't tell everything to. You know what I mean? If you're a part of a friendship, um, that friendship should be solidified. You know what I mean? If I tell you something, that stays between me and you. And so I realized, like, within this friendship, it got to be a friendship that if I want the world to know, I can tell them. Not a friendship that, like, if it's something private, I can tell them, because on purpose or an accident, it's gonna get spilled regardless, and then your business is just out in the streets, you know. So that's why I mean, like, you have different friends for different purposes. Like, you don't be mad at that friend. You just know you can't tell that friend stuff, and it just be like that sometimes. Like, you have to establish different boundaries and relationships within your friendships. Not all friendships are going to be kiki kaka buddy buddy girls trip. Like, people in my life that I consider a friend sometimes aren't my friends. I consider them more of an associate that I'm just close with. You know what I mean? A lot of people in my life, because everyone's like, especially being a college athlete, everyone's like, Amanda, you're so popular, you know so many people. Yeah, I associates, though. I don't have a relationship with a lot of these people. This is just kind of like a mutual high and by thing. A lot of people in my life, I don't trust to go on a girls trip with. And that's probably why I've never been on one, because the people who want to go on one with me, I really don't trust them, and I don't think that they'll have my back, kind of thing. But it's like our sister circle, that's different. We have grown for years, learned about each other over the years, and have taken time to just genuinely see the kind of people we are and have developed those relationships. But someone that I've known for a long time, but they've shown me, like, wishy-washy personalities or different things in different situations. Yeah, I don't know if I could trust you 100% to go on a girls trip, because if a homegirl try to jump me, is you gonna have my back, or am I gonna be fighting for myself? So
right. See, it's like you brought up some, those valid points. Just you have those friends for different reasons, and that's that grows with maturity. You got to learn really to accept people for who they are. You can't change everybody. You can't
yeah,
expect everybody to operate the way that you operate, because we're not all cut from the same cloth.
Ain't that the truth?
And I think that's why we work. I think that's why even the three of us, we work. Yeah, Kia, how you feel about friend groups versus sister circles? Let me make that the question.
Oh, versus sister circles. Well, I
Yeah.
think Amani's pretty much explained that pretty good. Like you said, like with friends, you start moving people from a distance. friends are people that you turn around and you can like start to love from a distance at any point. Like they're still your friends, but at one point you might have to love them from a distance. A sister circle,
Mhm.
when it comes to that, it's more so of a spiritual dependency thing, because you're not just focused on your friendship, you're also focused on pushing each other to be better women and stuff. As friends, friends, you kick it with friends. That's your relaxation time. And when it comes to your sister circle, of course, y'all have y'all kick it time, but y'all get down to business first. Y'all handle what's going on emotionally, spiritually, collectively, career wise. What are you lacking in? What are you feeling like you need to make a new goal? So you're always reaching for the next.
Emotionally, spiritually, collectively,
How do you explain?
career.
You're always reaching for the next goal, the next success story within your sister circle. As far as your friend circle, you guys can push each other and stuff, but it's more so focused on your friendship, making sure y'all just stay cool, stay well enough to kick it, stay well enough to speak to each other still, or have that relationship to where y'all can still reach out to each other.
That's real. That's real. And it's crazy because you can't have a sister circle with everybody. Like everybody's not invited to the sister circle.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's not even a chosen thing. You don't choose your sister circle. It's what you draw
mm,
to. It becomes a mental stability in
mm.
your life. And it's
That's a
never,
valid point. That's
yeah,
a valid point. You feel me? You don't really get to choose your sister circle. You don't get to choose your sister circle. Um, and
I
that's
will
real.
say, oh, sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say to piggyback off of that too, I think it's a maturity thing as well. You have to be mature enough to understand that you are a part of the sister circle and understand what the sister circle comes with. Now, for those listening in, there's a huge difference between a sister circle and a group chat and like a group message. You can make a group message with any and all of your friends and y'all are talking every day. But for a sister circle, you have group chats on multiple social media sites. Y'all are talking about everything, like whether it's personal, whether it's funny, whether it's goofy. Like our sister circle, we share TikToks that relate to our lives 24/7 and stuff that is hilarious. You know what I mean? We're constantly talking about things that are going on in our lives that we relate to. And we look back like, okay, we laugh about this, but if this is really going on, how do we grow from this? Like, it's a maturity level thing. It's not just your normal average group chat.
That's real though. And it's like I don't know, because I'm gonna be real with y'all, real transparent. Um, Nakia gets on my damn nerves. Okay, that's my sister though. And so but we know this about each other, because I get on hers. I get on Nakia's damn nerves. So and we realize, like Monty was saying, with the maturity, when you learn, you have that history and you grow with somebody, um over time and over situations and all of that. Me and Nakia, we have this pact that we don't talk to each other when the other one is on the menstrual cycle. I ain't talking to you, because you get. I'm already like I'm already irritated and high stress.
get
Um,
from down here. Oh,
your voice device got disconnected, so it automatically kicked you down. But yeah, we
gotcha.
got a pact. You feel me? If I'm on my cycle, don't call me. And you could call, but I'm not gonna answer. I'm not gonna answer, and vice versa. We can't do it. We because my attitude is already uncontrollably there. You feel me? But we know that about each other. We've learned that about one another, and we accept it. Like
That
it
mouth
is
gets slick real quick too.
mouth gets slit, and a little disclaimer for those of y'all who are listening. You feel me? For those of you who are into the zodiacs, we are all Sagittarius. All three of us. Armani's birthday is November 28th, 98. I'm November 30th, 98. Kia's December 5th, 98. Okay. So, Monty, she is that she's the calmest one of
Mother
all of us.
Goose.
Yeah, she's the calmest one of all of us. She's the one where, in situations, she's gonna think of the outcomes and the possible consequences before it happens. Whereas me and Kia, you feel me, we gonna recognize them, but we're not really even gonna focus on the consequences because we're just ready to go ahead and react. And that's why we value Monty because she keeps us leveled and grounded into knowing, you feel me, you ain't always gotta react. You don't always have to react to a situation. Think about it first. Think about how are we going to end up from this? You feel me? And because of Monty, have been situations and times where because of her, we did not end up in jail. You feel me? Like we did not end up in jail because she made us think of the possible consequences from what was gonna happen. And you gotta have it. So but it grows and it comes with growth and knowing that in your friends. Yeah, it's stuff like that. With with your sisters, because your friends. Okay, I'm an introvert. So if people didn't communicate with me, I won't communicate with people. And that's just that. If people are not communicating with me, if you don't talk to me first, I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm just not. And so, after graduating high school, a lot of friends I don't even talk to anymore. It's like a very small selection. And me and Armani, I think we went maybe like 3 months where we was like off of not talking to each other, and then like we called each other like, hold up.
Yeah.
Where you in? I ain't talked to you. I ain't heard from you. Like I'm kind of lost.
And that was the phone call that literally reconnected those 3 months. And my biggest thing, one thing I always say is that if it is a real and true friendship, despite where it ended and how bad it ended, y'all can come back to good terms and y'all can always come back and be friends. And I truly do believe in that. There are a lot of friendships that I have had that I thought, we was ace boon coons, ride to dies, and we fell off. And I had to realize within that, like that falling off was not my fault. But it's also not my job to fix it if I put pretty much all my energy to it and I'm receiving nothing. So as soon as I noticed that, I'm like, yo, I'm done. I give up. But the thing is, with B&G's call, that was literally a mutual call. Like, I think we were calling each other at the same time that day. And like it went to voicemail and then someone called and got through to the other, and that phone call literally reconnected those 3 months, and it wasn't even on no disrespectful or mad stuff. We were just like, where you been? You been MIA? Is everything okay? Are you alive?
Are you alive?
One phone call literally rekindled that entire 4-year relationship that we had developed in high school to now. Like,
yeah, it
I
happened
get
like
it.
me and Kia, we was, you feel me, we was friends in high school. I'm gonna say that. And like we was friends in high school. You feel me? We knew mutual people, ran in mutual crowds. That's the difference between me and Monty. You feel me? Like outside of school, we don't even have the same type of crowd. You feel me? Like me, like I have a special bond with Armani. Like it's really a God-given bond with Armani. Me and Kia come from the same streets. Okay, we come from the same streets. Like we ran in the same but different crowds. You feel me? So it was a lot of mutual people for me and Key. And so when I got kicked out of college and I came home, you feel me? That summer, Kia was home too. We was both working
We both got kicked out.
downtown. Yeah, we was both working downtown. And we were seeing each other, and we, would just meet up and kick it. And like we started talking, caught up on, how we was both home from school. And it's been never ending since then. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if it weren't for Nakia pressing herself in my life, because I'm telling you, I'm an introvert. So if you don't talk to me, I'm not gonna talk to you. There was a brief moment when Nakia she didn't have a phone. And then y'all, when she got an iPhone, you feel me? Because when she had a phone, she had the Android, but then y'all, when she got the iPhone, y'all, I mean, every 5 minutes, I'm like, she's FaceTiming me. FaceTime. Yeah, I hate talking on the phone. I hate it. Okay. I'm like, can you not text? And she's like, can you not talk?
I don't like texting.
Excuse me? What? Why you can't text me? Why you can't talk on the phone? Because I don't want to. Well, I don't like to text. Well, what we gonna do? FaceTime. Yeah, and that'd be my response with Nakia almost all the time.
I'm highly aggressive over my friends. I'm very protective. And when I know something is up, I know something is up. And I become a bugaboo. I don't give a fuck if you don't like it. Excuse my language. I become a bugaboo. So I want to know what's going on. And that's for anybody, even with Monty. Monty and I went a while not talking. And then I think I seen Monty in the store with her mom one day. I'm like, how you been, Monty? And we used to run together. So that's why we had a competitive streak going on. So that's how our friendship came along and everything.
And it was also one of those things too, like, me and Kia, like, we never been on bad terms. Like, me and G, we never been on bad terms. Like, don't get me wrong, every single friendship has their differences of opinions. And you be like, okay, girl, I don't want to talk to you no more. Bye, I'll talk to you later. And then y'all call each other the next night, talking about what you eat for dinner. Like, it's just one of those things. But, like, me and Kia never had, like, a problem. It was just genuinely, like, we would see each other, then we wouldn't see each other. Then we would see each other, and then we wouldn't see each other. And that's another thing. I just feel like I agree with G, like, God is in the midst of all of this, because even though me and Kia were like, see each other, not see each other, see each other, not see each other, there was always some way that we just found connection again with each other. You know what I mean? Like, found our friendship again, got in communication, got each other's number and things like that. And I will tell y'all now, this is the most number switchingest person you'll ever meet in your life. If she changed her number again, I'm not saving it. I'm so serious.
I promise you. I promise you.
I have like the keys in my phone. I have to remember which one is her so I can delete the rest. Like, I can't take it.
Nah, yeah, and that's real though. And then that's another thing about our sister circle, right? Like, I didn't meet Nakia through Armani. I didn't meet Monty through Nakia. You feel me? They didn't meet me through each other, right? Like, Nakia and Armani knew each other before they knew me. Like, they knew each other before they knew me. Like,
I think I met Monty back in middle school.
Yeah, like they've known each other since like middle school. I met both of them when I was in high school. And very different ways. Like, when I tell y'all, me and Armani have like the completely different circle of friends. Like, you feel me? I like me and Nakia, I could call her like, girl, did you hear about Booty Boo Bam Bam? No, we don't gossip. We just make sure that we inform each other on the proper news that's going on in our community. Okay. We don't gossip. We just keep each other informed on the news going on in the community, especially since she ain't got Facebook no more. I am her news anchor. So, you feel me? I could call her like, girl, did you hear about Booty Boo Bam Bam? And she knows exactly what I'm talking about. Now with Monty, I can't do that. I can't do that. You feel me? Because I gotta, which is fine, because you feel me, she lives vicariously through me in that way. You feel me? Because I'll send her pictures like, so this is Wooty Woo and this is Wooty Woo Woo. And you feel me? This is how they are connected, and this is what's going on. No, we don't gossip. I just gotta inform her on what's going on in the community, on what's going on around me, because that's me. And say vice versa. You feel me? Monty can't call me and say, such and such. I'm like, girl, just send me pictures. This is woo woo. This is woo woo woo. This is how they connected. This is what's going on. We come from different areas, but we've always connected. Always. Me and Armani have just always connected. And then same with Kia. Like, we just always connected. And it's strange how it happened, but that's why I say God is really in the midst of our friendship. And to me, in order for any relationship at all to work, God has to be in the midst of it. God has to be in the midst of it in order marriage to work, God has to be in the midst of it. In order for just a relationship to work, God has to be in the midst of it. In order for a parent to child relationship to work, God has to be in the midst of it. For siblings, God has to be in the midst of those relationships. In order for them to work, you have to have and that's me. Y'all know I'm very spiritual when it comes down
Here,
to it. And
hold on.
all of us
I don't
come
know
from
what the
that
fuck is wrong with the
background.
door.
You feel me? Of growing up, going to church, all of that. We all come. Armani's a PK. That's
Yeah.
the
There he
main, like the
is.
biggest difference here. Armani is a PK. So
Right.
she has a just that different upbringing than us, because even though I was raised in the church, both of my parents was gangsters, so we was going to church to, you feel me, ensure that if something were to happen, that we had a safe foundation. That was just my mom's that was important to my mom, making sure that we had a faith-based foundation, because that's what she came from. And same with my dad. Like you feel me, my granny grew up in church too. You feel like that's what they did, but they were gangsters. They was in the streets. That's the lifestyle that they lived. So that different background, we bring so much value to each other. Armani has taught me so much over the years. She has calmed me down in a way that I didn't even know. And I think we've rubbed up, we rubbed off on each other, because when I first met Armani, y'all, and when Kia comes back, she'll be able to attest to this. Armani was the sweetest, just nicest, calmest, like
Naive. I'll say it about myself. I was naive. I
naive,
was naive.
vulnerable, and
I thought, how like when we little kids and you think, the world is just rainbows and unicorns. I still had that mindset the older I got. And also that the other thing as well, I'm an only child. I never had sibling to sibling altercation or conflict. I'm an only child. Whatever I wanted, I got. Whatever I asked for, I got. Within that though, don't think I'm a brat. I am not a brat whatsoever. I will admit that I am spoiled, but I am not a brat. And my mom doesn't even play those games. Actually, my mom is the type of person, yes, this is my daughter, yes, this is my child, but if you act like a brat, you're going to suffer the consequences if you want to be a brat. I didn't, just because
Miss
I was the only
Yolanda
child,
don't play, y'all. Miss Yolanda don't play, y'all.
just because I'm an only child doesn't mean I just got whatever, whenever, I was still raised with discipline and respect, and that you will suffer the consequences of your actions 100%. But that was a quick side note. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I lost my train of thought.
Vulnerable, naive.
Oh, yeah. And so, I think us becoming friends, like, some of my hypeness rubbed off on her, and some of her vulnerability rubbed off on me. Like, it was just I become calmer. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Like Armani is one of the reasons why I have learned to forgive. Armani is a very forgiving person. Now she certain situations, you feel me, tries to be Sagittarius, we hold grudges. But at the end of the day, Armani is a very forgiving person. Like it's not much you can really do to her that she's gonna just hate you for. She, like, her heart is huge, and some of that has rubbed off on me. Like, I really, like, if y'all know me before, in my adolescent years, I'm not a forgiving person. I don't forgive. The damage was, I said what I said, I did what I did, the damage is done, there's no going back from it. It is what it is. That's how I used to think. And Armani's one of those people who she taught me it's not always about that. Sometimes it's just about keeping that relationship intact. You feel me? Sometimes it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And she's one of those people who, made me realize that I am an asshole. I am an asshole. I come off. There's sometimes I say some things sometimes that I can say it in a different way. I don't always have to be so abrupt and harsh about things. And she helps me with that. But in that same manner, you can't walk over Armani no more.
Oh no. Oh no.
You can't walk over Armani no more. Not no more.
Yeah.
That was once upon a time, but and I know that was some of me that rubbed off on her, because I used to tell Armani, You are, and I used to have to remind her of this all the time. You are a black belt in karate. Like, don't let nobody try to think that they can just talk to you any kind of way or treat you any old kind of way just because you're nice. Like, they see that you're not. Don't let anybody take your niceness for granted. I used to have, like, we didn't have conversations about this, and I just have to tell her, like, you feel me, like, you're nice and there's nothing wrong with that, but everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows this about you, so you can't just let people run over you. And
And
it took her a
especially,
little minute to get there, but once she got there, y'all, she a track star. She's a runner. She's a track star. She ran with it, y'all. She ran with it, and there's no walking over her no more.
yeah. And it's like, before I even met G, my mom for years, because like my mom is my best friend. I know every mother-daughter relationship has their moments, but at the end of the day, I know for a fact that that is my rock and my everything, and how much she has sacrificed to get me where I am today. She's a big part of that. I don't tell her that enough, but I acknowledge it for sure. But my mom was telling me that for so long, like, Armani, what is this? Because the thing is, if you know my mom, she's not like that. She's not gonna let.
I know.
She will say
I
something
know.
like, and my mom will check somebody respectfully. She will let it be known that she's not the person you just walk over and do whatever to. If it don't feel right, she will say something. And I feel like she was like, oh my gosh, like, when is my daughter gonna get there? And when I finally got there, she was just like, what happened? Oh my gosh, what do you mean? What do you mean you told her that she ain't gonna play you like that? What you mean? What's going on here? And I feel like it was like for the people in my life who do love me and care about me, it was like the finally moment for them. Like, oh my gosh, it took her long enough to get here. And so it's just like, I have you to thank for that, because I was very shy. Being an only child, you're not, with the personality I have, I'm very extroverted. So I will go out, meet new people, say hi to people. If I see that someone's uncomfortable or something, I'll go walk up to them. That's just who I am as a person. But realizing that not everyone is that way like I am has just, like, you know, kind of just like been a shift. Pretty
Yeah.
much a shift for me. And so seeing, like, seeing the difference from like then to now, it's crazy. So it's definitely a blessing for sure, because
Definitely that. Okay, so I have a question.
Mhm.
Do you think the relationships your parents have generated a certain perspective of how you view relationships? And this is speaking specifically towards, and you don't like the relationship that your parents have, and then just parents in general. Do you think that the relationship that parents have generate a certain perspective of how their children view relationships, friendships?
I would have to say yes. Like, I would agree with that. Let me see. Obviously, the relationship I have with my mom versus the relationship I have with my dad is very, very different. My parents are divorced. They got divorced when I was 5. The older I've gotten, I've learned more about their relationship that I did not know. When I say, like, my mom made sacrifices, she made a lot of sacrifices, and I didn't know, let alone understand those sacrifices, until I got older. Me and her sat down and talked about those things, and I was like, huh? And so, like, the relationship with my dad, I seen what it was like to get, like, that partner love, like the male affectionate love. I didn't really receive that. My dad always told me that he loved me, and I do believe that he loves me. He just doesn't know how to show it very well. I do believe that 100%. Even though we argue, I get upset, I get irritated, I know for a fact that within all that, he still loves me. He just doesn't know how to really express it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, my parents got divorced at 5. I didn't grow up in a double parent household, like
Yeah.
a single parent household. I seen what the divorced lifestyle was like growing up as a kid. So I never got to see your parents love each other. Your parents are married for 20 plus years. I didn't get to see that.
Right.
The older I've gotten, I understand what it's like. I also understand that when it is my time to be in a relationship and be married to the love of my life, I don't want someone that's like my dad. I don't want someone who demands stuff out of me and doesn't know how to listen.
Mm-hmm.
I I need someone who is going to sit down with me and say, let's talk about it, instead of telling me I'm crazy and that I don't know what I'm talking about and I'm being emotional.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I need in a man, that those certain qualities I didn't receive from my father. And nobody's perfect. If we was perfect, we all would have been called to glory right now. Like,
Period.
so it's just like, there's things that I see. When I was younger, when you're a kid and you get that type of, conversation stuff from your dad, you're just like, oh, my dad doesn't love me. He hurt my feelings. But the older I got, I understand, like, okay, it still hurts my feelings and it frustrates me, but I'm at the age where I'm able to express that. I will tell my dad, I do not like how you're speaking to me. I'm your daughter. I'm not your coworker. You don't tell me what I need to do and need to not do. I need you to suggest. I would appreciate a suggestion more than I would appreciate a demand kind of thing, 100%. So maturity is a real thing. It takes a
Yes.
mature person to understand the type of person their father is and still love them unconditionally within the hurt, the confusion. And like me and Gia have had this conversation before. Sometimes we just want our dads to own up and say, I'm sorry.
Mm.
You
That's
don't
it.
even, we already know what the sorry is for, but we just want to hear it. Because all it will take for us to heal from that, like, fatherly trauma, is just to hear, I'm sorry, and to work on it. Faith without works is dead. If you're just going to say, I'm sorry, and not
Work
show
on it.
why you're sorry and try to fix it, then there's no point in even saying, I'm sorry. So that's my 2 cents.
No, that's real. You brought up a valid point. When you said some of the things, the sacrifices you didn't understand your mom made, you didn't understand it until she sat you down and you guys actually talked about it. And me and Mark have talked about. Me, Mark, and Tabitha have talked about on the Make a Culture Move podcast on how it's important that parents really need to learn to have those sit downs with their children. Like, family talks are important, and it's important to start young. If you're not having family circles, it does make it hard for that to build that bonding relationship between parent and child, whether it's a single parent home or a 2-parent home. Those sit downs are important just to explain to your kids, what's going on, or any of that, and the younger they are, the less descriptive you have to be.
Right.
And also the younger they are, the more guidance as a parent I feel like you need. And that guidance, you pray, ask God, to show you how to explain that to younger children, without being so, without taking away their purity and innocence. You never want to take away a child's purity and innocence. And I think, with us, seeing the strain in our relationships, and our parents' relationship growing up, that took away some of our purity and innocence, without us even knowing, that it was doing us damage, like, until we got older. And one of the things that really made me realize that was, challenge day, how we used to have challenge day in high school, and we used to have the line game, and you gotta walk across the line if it applies to you. That really helped me realize a lot of things, because it's a lot does go on when you're a child that traumatizes you, that comes from your parents, that you don't even realize is traumatizing you, and all of that does affect how you enter into different relationships and friendships and stuff like that.
And I honestly feel like it just started with our parents getting divorced. You know what I mean?
mm,
We were young, and like for me, I was 5. I didn't see that there just was no love and connection there anymore. I
mm,
just seen my parents are splitting and it's my fault.
mm,
That's what I promise you, that's what any child would think,
mm-hmm.
because they don't understand the concept of what a divorce is. You know
Right.
what I mean? And so like I said, my mom having my sit downs, and the older I got, and she told me what the divorce did to her, I had no idea. I didn't know through within all that my mom was going through all that.
Right.
And so that's why, like you keep saying, it's important to have those sit downs with families, especially if you have more than one child. Family meetings are very important. Sit down, talk to your children, because I promise you, your child isn't just going to come up to you and tell you what's wrong. 100%. I mean, my mom and I have established the relation. My mom made sure, even after they got divorced, my mom made sure that she knew I could tell her anything, despite if it was going to make her mad or anything. She just wanted to make sure I was safe. And we developed that from from a young age, 100%. And so it's different, being able to just go to my mom and be like, okay, this is going on. I'm upset about this. Sometimes her reaction is not what I'm looking for. But I have come to understand too that my mom is a planner. My mom's like, okay, this is how you feel. What are we gonna do to fix it? And as soon as I noticed that, I've been able to be more accepting and understanding of why I get the response that I get. Because I'm the type of person, I just want to cry. I didn't think about what to do next. I just want to cry. I just want to let it out. I have no idea about what I'm gonna do next tomorrow. I don't know. I just want to cry. And so I know that if I have something going on, I need to call my mom. I gotta tell her, mother, I'm not ready to plan. I'm ready to cry. So I just need you to listen to me while I get it off my chest, kind of thing. And I think going back to everything, God has to be in this for the understanding and the communication and the mutual relationship to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, another side note, my mom just accepted her calling to, be a evangelist. That's fantastic. And if you grew up younger and in the old church, men looked at women crazy when they was up there on the podium speaking the truth and speaking about the words Lord. In this instance, time has changed. Some old heads still live in that mindset, but we're in the more modern days now, and it's okay and it's acceptable. And it always has been. Men just need to put their pride aside and let a woman take over because a woman probably knows best. Just saying. But it's one of those things too. Like, I had a track meet, and I called my mom and I was like, Mommy, I know you'll be upset if I miss my track meet. I mean, you would be upset if I went to my track meet, not to, your lesson. I mean, your sermon. And she was like, Honey, I'll be fine. Da, da, da. And we got off that phone. I said, I know she lying. It takes God and it takes that mutual relationship to know your parent and to know your daughter. If I had went to that track meet in Florida and I was not in my mom's very first sermon, she would have been upset and felt some type of way. She just tried to brush it off because she wants me to travel. I don't care about traveling. I care about your first sermon. I care about God because you're the one, on top of my dad. Yes, I'm a preacher's kid from my dad's perspective and now my mom's perspective. Yes, I'm a PK kid. I grew up in the church. I know about the church. But if I had seen your struggles and your journey and your trials and tribulation and everything that you have gone through, and I was there to hear your testimony, what kind of daughter would I be?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't even show that I care enough about you to make it to your very first sermon. Yeah, we talking second, third, 100th. That's different. But your very first one,
Hmm.
I wouldn't be able to live with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how my mom is. Girl, it's fine. No, she would have been hurt. She would have been mad, distraught, and just played it off. But I know my mother. I know my mother because of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, God is in the midst of a lot of stuff. And like G said, relationships, friendships cannot work unless God is in it. 100%.
That is 100% because um, like me and my mom were getting to I mean, like, that's my writer. You feel me? At the end of the day, if anybody's gonna have my back, it's gonna be my mom. And my mom is the reason why I know God. You feel me? She's made sure that she introduced us to God. And I believe in God. She's not the reason why I believe in God. I believe in God because of the things that I've personally been through and the things that I've personally witnessed throughout my own life and my own journey as to why I believe in God. But if it weren't for my mom, I wouldn't even know who he is. So I owe her everything for that, right? I owe her everything for that alone. And but growing up with us, like, my dad, I was a daddy's girl, heavy, wholeheartedly. Like, if my dad walked into a burning forest, I'm right there on his hip with him, walking in there. No questions asked, no hezzy. And that changed when he just walked out on us, no explanation, just straight up, just left. It was like my mom, like my baby brother was 2, and I was in middle school, and that was some shit. It was like that's really when my issues with my dad for me truly began, because up until then, my dad worshiped the ground that I walked on. I did no wrong in my dad's eyes, and if I did, he never addressed me about it. He would tell my mom and have my mom be my disciplinary. And I didn't know that when I was younger, and it became relevant to me the older that I got, that's what he does. And you feel me? I really didn't respect him for that, because if you have an issue with something that I'm doing and you feel like I need discipline in the area, as my father, you have that right to do it. Now, not anymore. You feel me? He's lost those privileges. And that's the trust that we have to gain back as a father-daughter relationship. And I didn't, and I'm just now starting to really truly realize this. But like, my dad is the reason why me and my older brother have a strained relationship, because he really used to try to pin us against each other. Like, I don't know what my dad's deal is with my big brother, but he used to really try to pin us against each other. And because he worshiped the ground I walked on, and I did no wrong in his eyes, and he made my mom be my disciplinary, I felt like my mom didn't love me as much as she loved my brothers. Because that reason right there, and these are things that I'm just now starting to realize. In that is that you feel me? Like, that's why I felt that way. I truly didn't believe that my mom loved me. Like, you feel me? I knew she loved me, but just, you feel me, just like loved me, like unconditionally, wholeheartedly, until I was 19 years old, and I was sitting in a jail cell. That's when I realized that, like, my mom loves me wholeheartedly, unconditionally. Like, I can do no wrong in her eyes either. And so, but at that time, I was also, so from the time I was like 11, 12 to 19, I didn't believe either one of my parents loved me. Like, I knew my dad didn't. I was like, there's no way that this man could love me. He does so much hurt to me. He does all these things to hurt me in so many different ways, not even in just one way, but in so many different ways. As my father, he does all these things to hurt me. There's no way he can love me. You feel me? The love that I had once known my father to have for me, I no longer knew. And it just went completely out the window. And I was just like, there's no way this man loved me. And because he had planted inside of me that my mom, all she cared about was disciplining me, and I had already had a pre-notion that my mom didn't love me, I had went those years believing that neither one of my parents loved me. My mama don't love me, my daddy don't love me, you feel me? I'm like, my brother, I don't know if he loved me, like, you feel me? He's like, how can you love me when you're running the streets and you're going in and out of jail and you're supposed to be here for your sister? Like, he was the only person that I really ever had in my life. My brother is why I knew how to spell my name, tie my shoes, do my ABCs and my 1, 2, 3s. Like, my brother is the reason for all of that. And so at a point where he was, going through his brokenness, because all of the stuff that my dad instilled in him, it made me feel like, damn, I'm like, my brother don't even love me. Like, what the hell? Like, I'm really in this alone. And so all of that are things that I have to deal with and work on with now. But that's why I struggle with relationships intimately, and why I struggle with relationships platonically. I don't have a lot of friends, right? And like, my sister group is very, very important to me, because we'll have our days and our situations, we'll call each other, and somebody's just not having a good day. Somebody is just not having a good day, and it's just a bit like, you feel me, stressful, high anxiety day. And because God is in the midst of it, it's like, you feel me, he'll intervene and just say, pray. And we'll pray.
And that's what, to me, that's what a true friendship is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I know other people have, their different religious beliefs and things like that. But for me, God is my understanding, my belief, my spiritual guidance, my alpha and my omega. Like, that's who's the head of my life. And that's who I will say is the love of my life because he brought me here.
And
And
keeps me
so,
here.
exactly. And so, if you were able to just stop and pray with your friends, then that's a true friendship. Because sometimes you don't need advice, you don't want to hear advice, but the thing that will literally take all that stress, that pain, that anger, that sadness out of here is just hearing someone say, let's pray. You'd be like, whoa. It's like a sit still. You're like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
let's do what? It takes you by surprise because within all that stress and anxiety and everything, you're like, God is in this. I don't need to stress no more because God is going to take care of it. God got it. So let's just pray and give it to Him. And
Period.
when I tell y'all, I hit you at a standstill. You forget real quick what you was upset about. You go like we'll use our call the other day. My little sister came up to visit me in Greeley or whatever because she was on spring break. Well, within all that, I already had a lot going on. Helping my mom plan for my graduation party, trying to graduate, trying to finish school, dealing with track coaches. It's a lot. It's one thing to be a college student, but it's one thing to be a student athlete, college student. It's a lot. It's 10 times more pressure than to just be a normal student. Your schedule is 10 times more booked. You have meetings left and right, study hall. You got to find time to eat. The way they make the student athlete life look behind closed doors is really not how it is. And I've had that conversation with G so many times. And I understand like G will be quick to tell you I am not an athlete. But she still gets it because she can feel and understand the stress and the pain that I have been through. And we have another friend, his name is Kasim. He's a student athlete like me as well, but he plays football. I run track. But when G always gets it, but when I just need to hear that other student athlete opinion, that's where Cass comes in. And Cass will give it to me straight. Cass will give anything that we bring to him, he will give it to us straight you know? And so it's just like within all that, having friends, you could literally just say, breathe, calm down, and let's pray. And that's exactly what we did. And I felt so much better. I literally felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. And let me tell you now, you don't let everybody pray for you either.
Mm.
As soon as you ask somebody to pray for you, depending on who it is, they will pray on your downfall,
Mm-hmm.
not your upbringing or your increase. You know what I mean? So our sister circle, yes, I trust them to pray for me because I know they're praying for my upbringing. I know they're praying for my motivation, my encouragement, my success, and to be able to finish school. But other people I know, or people who have shown haterism and anger and all that towards me, why would I go ask them to pray for me? Same thing. You don't let everybody do your hair. Not
Hmm.
everybody has. Let me see. What is rest?
That relationship with God.
Yes.
Like, not everybody has that relationship with God where you should, trust them to pray for you. Not everybody even knows how to pray. You know what I mean? It's not hard. It's really just, and when I came to really truly have that greater understanding that praying is a simple conversation with God. You don't have to know no Bible scriptures. You don't never even have to have ever stepped inside of a church to know how to pray. It's really just simply having a conversation with God. I say this to believers and non-believers, especially to the non-believers. If you like don't know where to start, it's just, if you're listening and if you can hear me, and I promise you, he's listening and he hears you. But for your comfort, just ask if you're listening and if you hear me.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to talk and make it a conversation. Don't think too hard about it. Don't think about it at all. Just and I'm working on one of the things that I'm really working on is I'm trying to stop cussing as much. I cuss like a sailor.
Me too.
I'm really trying to stop cussing as much because I'm always around kids and ain't none of them mine. You feel me? If it was my kids, I don't know. You feel me? My kids, they're mine, but I'm always around kids and ain't none of them mine. And I don't really want to be that bad influence for nobody else's kids, right? Like I just don't want to be cussing around everybody's kids. And so I'm trying to really cut back on how I cuss and how much I cuss. But with that, sometimes when I'm in prayer and I'm just really just talking to God and having that conversation, I slip up sometimes, and I do. I just be like, oh God, I'm sorry. Look, we working on it. We are working on that. But I just be so deep in talking to him because it really is just like talking to a friend, somebody that you're talking to. So sometimes I do slip up and I be like, oh, Father, I apologize. I'm working on that, but that's also, just really the greater importance of how your friend groups help you heal. Like my sister group is one of the things that keeps me grounded in God. Because when I got kicked out of school, I almost lost my entire faith in God. I almost lost my entire faith in God when I got kicked out of school. But I was in communication with Armani the entire time. I was going through that. And without even knowing, that was what was keeping me close to God. I wasn't going to church. I wasn't like praying per se. Like I was just really in like a questioning state, just always asking God questions like, what are you doing to me? Why am I going through this? Why is this happening? What is going on? But it wasn't really like prayer. And because God is in Armani and in our relationship, our sistership is one of the reasons why I wasn't gonna stray. I wasn't gonna stray because yes, I was brought up in it and lead your child up in the way that they should go. And they shall not depart. Or if they do, they'll always return. It was just a scary time for me in my life. Like I was angry with my dad. I was angry with my dad's entire side of the family. Like it was a hard time for me. Like I had just like my granny had told me that my problems didn't concern her. And you feel me? And basically to me that was saying that you feel me, I couldn't go to her for help. Whereas
pretty much a F you.
Pretty much a F me. Whereas my grandfather, who was a mentally insane, drug addict, alcoholic, told me that everybody makes mistakes, everybody messes up, and that I will be okay and he'll always love me. So it was like a lot of slaps in my face were coming because me and my grandpa, we always had our bond and I needed that. But I thought I had a bond with my granny too. I thought I could. I used to look up to this woman, loved her with my whole heart unconditionally. And for her to tell me that my problems don't concern her or don't have anything to do with her, it was a real slap in the face where it was just like, whoa. Whoa. The older you get, the more you realize every relationship, some of them have to come to an end for the betterment of blood. Right? For the betterment of you, they have to come to an end. Some people you got to accept for who they are, and you got to love from a distance. So it's like my dad's entire side of the family, I love them from a distance because I know they don't love me genuinely. And I don't want to be around anybody that doesn't love me genuinely while I'm trying to heal. Because while I'm trying to heal, my demons still want to come out and stir up problems. And I can't have that while I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to put my demons to sleep.
That
You
part.
feel me? Like I'm trying to beat my demons down. So in order for me to do that, I have to recognize and realize that some of the relationships in my life, ones that I just can't get rid of because of the genetic blood DNA that we share, I have to love them from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
That's why God sends you people in your life, and you have to recognize who those people are and really pray about it. God will send you people in your life who you need more than the family you were born into.
That's
My
so
sister
true.
circle is so important to me. Like I don't have a family member that I can vent to about my mom. And like since my mom and my godmom fell out, I don't really feel comfortable venting to my godmom about my mom just because they fell out and they're not on that level of term anymore. So I don't have anybody to vent to about my mom about. And you need to vent about your parents.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think two-parent homes are important as well, because if you have two-parent homes, you can vent about one parent to the other parent and they'll truly understand where you're coming from.
They
Nobody
married
can
to them.
period. That they'll truly be able to understand and help you understand why the other parent is that way. My godmom used to help me understand why my mom is the way she is with some things. She like there's you have to know your parents' story and background, and you feel me, because my mom and my godmom knew each other's story and background. There was things that my godmom, you just have to tell me, like, you have to understand your mom went through this, your mom sacrificed this, your mom did this, that's why she is the way she is. And so you can't, you feel me, be mad about it. You just have to respect it and respect her, because these are the things that she went through and did in order for you to have the life that you have right now. So but now, because I don't have that I can go to, my sister group is that, you feel me, like my sister, my mom has a relationship with my sister group, you feel me, as well, that includes and doesn't include me, and so I can vent to my sister group about my mom on a day, and we vent to each other about our mom, you feel me, like this is a day.
Right, and the thing is too, even though we may vent to each other about our moms, there's still respect for our mothers. It is not just because we tell, like, everybody has an off day. Everyone has a right to have an off day, and sometimes that off day includes making me mad.
Yeah.
But that doesn't belittle anything of who my mom is as a person or anything like that. She's just having an off day, and so am I. You know what I mean?
And sometimes we help each other understand that.
Exactly. A sister circle, there's no judgment. No matter who you're talking about, who you're talking to, there's no judgment. It is literally mutual understanding that everyone has a right to have a bad day. And one thing too that we talk about too, not only being women, but being Black women, we already go through more than enough. Coming into this world as a Black woman is already a lot to deal with. And at a young age, you didn't understand that. But the older you got and the more you see the social injustice that's happening in the world, you got to learn, you got to research, you got to look up on your history. And seeing who my mom is and what her role at her company has done, and how her being a Black woman has, tried to keep her down, but how she has persevered day by day through that, shows me that I can do the same. And I can encourage my sister circle to do the same. You know what I mean? This is just the cards that we're dealt with. And that's one thing I'm learning, to understand, is that these cards are dealt to us, and we just got to shuffle through them and deal them back out.
That
So
that
that's why it's
that
very important.
that was everything. You feel me? You gotta deal with the cards that you're dealt and shuffle them back up and deal with them again. That's the thing. That's the thing with the game of spades. Can you play your hand? You feel me? Deal with the hand you're dealt. Deal with the hand you're dealt, and look at your hand. Can you play your hand? Sometimes you'll have a good hand. You feel me? You got all face cards, like ooh, or sometimes you got all phone digits. But either way, or even if you have the mixture of the two, you have to play the hand that you're dealt. And just always remember, the deck's gonna get reshuffled. The deck is gonna get reshuffled.
And you're gonna get new cards.
And you're gonna get new cards, and then you play that hand.
Yeah.
Period. Look, sister, I don't know what happened to Kia. I mean, she having some technical difficulties. We're gonna have to call her after this. But I want to thank you, for waking up this early Sunday morning with me and, just talking about, friend groups and sister circles and, how we use them to heal. To our viewers, thank you for, tapping in with us. Y'all know how we do. Make sure y'all follow us on our platform. Y'all know we have the Make a Chess Move with MACM, the Make a Culture Move with MACM, and the MACM Pushing Pawns.
Yes.
And I forgot our virtual artist storytelling. We will be back in action, I think, this week, but stay tuned. Stay tuned. Because we had our workshop last week, so we took a break from virtual artist storytelling. And then, don't forget, check us out on our website, www.makeitestmove.org. Go there and drop a donation and keep tabs for our upcoming workshop. The next one will be in the summer. Our social media sites, we got facebook.com /Malcolm303. We got Instagram at Malcolm303. We got Twitter at Malcolm303. We got the Pinterest thing at Malcolm303. And I'm going to plug myself because I've been forgetting. I don't know why I've been forgetting to plug myself. But y'all, I got Gems for Queens, jewelry and accessories. Y'all, I just got purses. I got some purses now. I'm finna get some sunshades. So y'all just tap in. You already know I got the jewelry. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys for tapping in with us. Stay tuned for the rest of our podcast. I know me and Mark come at y'all tomorrow with the Make a Culture Move podcast at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna end that off with yeah, y'all know, tap in with me, whatever it is that you feel like we need to heal in the Black community. I'm gonna bring this friend groups back. Y'all know my girl Armani, she mentioned our boy Cassim, so I'm gonna have to bring him on here, and the three of us gonna have to talk about how we deal, because the co-ed friendships are important too, and those we also gotta talk about. And I want to hear Cass' opinion on how he deals with us.
Yes. Yes.
I definitely want to hear.
Trust and believe we are not easy for Cass. Trust and believe we do not make it easy on him.
We do not make it easy for bro. We don't, but that's our homie, and he stuck around, and we love him. But yes, thank y'all. Don't forget to tap in. I'll be back at you next Sunday. Y'all, Mac him out there. Bye.